Let me show you how to make moussaka, which is a popular dish that originates from Greece. We are going to begin by preparing our vegetables. Take 3 medium-sized aubergine or eggplant and remove the tops, and then cut them long ways into slices, roughly around 4 to 5 millimeters in thickness. Then lightly season them all on each side and lay them on a tray. Set them to one side while we prepare our potatoes. Take 3 to 4 large, good all-rounder potatoes. Remove the skins and then cut them into slices as well. I like to cut off the bottom for the first slice so I've got a nice flat edge to work with when I'm slicing up the rest of the potato. Cut these to around the same thickness as the aubergine. Next, place a frying pan over medium-high heat and add in enough oil for shallow frying. Place the potatoes in, making sure it's a nice even layer on the bottom, and cook them for 2 to 3 minutes on each side until golden brown. Repeat this in batches until you've coloured all of the potatoes. So it's been around 25 to 30 minutes since we salted the aubergine, and as you can see, the salt has started to draw out the moisture from inside. This also takes away a bit of the bitterness that is in the aubergine. We now need to rinse them in cold water and then pat them dry with kitchen towel. We need to get them as dry as we possibly can before frying. In the same pan you cook the potatoes, we need to repeat that process again, but with the aubergine. Cooking it for 2 to 3 minutes on each side until nice and golden. Aubergines can act a little bit like a sponge, so you'll find you might need to add a little extra oil before each batch. You can now leave your aubergine and potato to the side while we prepare our meat sauce. For that, take 1 large brown onion, cut the top and the root off, before cutting it in half, removing the skin and then cutting it into 4mm dice. Next we'll take 2 cloves of garlic and remove the skins, and then I'm just going to finely grate it on a microplane, but you could crush it using a garlic crusher or finely chop it, it's entirely up to you. Then we'll place a large pan over medium heat, I'm using my cast iron pot for this, and then drizzle in 30ml of olive oil. Once the oil's hot, we'll add in the diced onions and then cook them down for 4 to 5 minutes until they're soft and translucent. Add in the crushed garlic and cook for a further 2 minutes. Next, add in 750 grams of ground beef mince and cook it until it turns brown. Then add in 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, 60 grams of tomato paste, and then mix them through and cook it for 1 minute before adding in 2 bay leaf, 400 grams of chopped tomatoes and 200ml of beef stock, or you could use red wine here if you prefer. Season it to your preference with salt and pepper and allow it to simmer and thicken up for 20 to 30 minutes. While our meat sauce is simmering away, we'll make our bechamel sauce. Begin by placing 2 saucepans over low heat, and in the back one I'll pour in 1 litre of whole milk, and in the front one I'll add in 120 grams of diced unsalted butter. Once the butter is melted, we'll then add in 120 grams of plain or all-purpose flour. Mix them together and it'll turn into a thick paste. Cook it out for 2 minutes, moving it around occasionally, and then we'll start ladling in the warm milk. Just do this gradually, I'm doing 2 ladles at a time, and then mixing it into the roux with a wooden spoon. Once it begins to loosen up and is less thick, you can then switch to using a whisk and just keep adding the milk gradually until it's all fully incorporated and you've got a thick, smooth looking sauce. At this stage, add in 85 grams of grated parmesan, and I'm just going to grate in a little bit of nutmeg before adding in 2 egg yolks for richness. Season it to taste with salt and pepper. Before we assemble the moussaka, we just need to place 4 to 5 tablespoons of the bechamel sauce into the meat sauce and mix it through thoroughly. To assemble, place the sliced potatoes onto the bottom, making sure it's a nice even layer. Then place some of the sliced aubergine over the potato. Next, place in all of the meat sauce and spread it out evenly. And now I'm so disappointed, I missed a layer. I got carried away here and I was supposed to put in the rest of the aubergine before putting on the bechamel sauce. But I didn't, I got carried away and went straight in with the bechamel. So don't forget to put in the second aubergine layer, then place your bechamel sauce over the top and spread that out. Grate over as much or little parmesan as you want, and then bake it in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 40 to 50 minutes or until golden and crisp on top. Once golden on top, remove it from the oven and leave it to cool for a minimum of 45 minutes before cutting it into portions and serving it with a side of your choice. So that's how I make moussaka, and although it does take quite a few steps to make, it's definitely worth giving a go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.